Hello everyone. In this tutorial I'm going to go over the Linux file system, and when I say file system I'm actually referring to the folder structure of a typical Linux install. I'm not actually referring to what file system I formatted my hard drive with. Those are two different meanings. So before we get started, a few quick notes. This series goes over the Linux command shell only, and I won't go over very many of the Linux GUI elements such as desktop environments. For that, see my Linux Beginner series where I go over those types of things in greater detail. So this video is basically the command line only. Now this video assumes that you have Linux installed already, but know nothing about how to use Linux commands. But as we go, the commands will get a bit more advanced, so if you already know the content in this video, just stay tuned and we'll get a lot more advanced as we go. So next, I assume that you already have Linux installed, as most people that are interested in Linux commands already have a Linux installation. But if you don't, I have a video in my beginner series that goes over how to install Ubuntu, so that's a good place to get started if you don't already have Linux installed anywhere. So to get started, open up your terminal application, and depending on your distribution, whatever one you chose, it could be called something like Terminal, GNOME Terminal, Console, or something similar. If you open up your application launcher and look for something that says Terminal, you should be good. You should end up with a program that looks something like what you see on my screen. It should have a command prompt that is waiting for you to type something, as you see here. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to get you started with two commands, cd and ls, which both allow you to move around the file system. Well, actually, the cd command allows you to move around the file system, and the ls command lets you see what's in the current working directory. Now normally I try to stick to just one command per tutorial, but it's really hard to talk about the cd command without talking about ls and vice versa, so I'm going to talk about them both in this one. Now the cd command basically stands for change directory, so it changes your working directory, the folder that your terminal is currently attached to. So for example, let's just change directory into the /etc folder. So go ahead and type this, cd space / that's a / etc, and press enter. Now you'll notice that it shows a current working path here of /etc, so that lets me know that I'm currently in the etc folder. Now some distributions show the bash prompt differently, so it may not look exactly like what you see on my screen, but it should be close. Now some of the harder distributions out there will show maybe just a $sign, but basically there's no default to how this prompt will show up. In mine, in Ubuntu, it shows my username, the computer name, and then the working directory. So if yours doesn't look like that, still follow along, because later on we're going to be going over ways of still finding out that information anyway. So anyway, that was the cd command, change directory, cd space, and then the name or the path of the folder that you want to change your working directory to. And as you see here, we just typed cd space /etc, and now we are in the /etc folder. So now that brings us to ls. What ls, or list storage, does, if you go ahead and type it and press enter, is it will show you a list of files that are in the directory that your terminal is currently attached to. Now, of course, the cd command and the ls command both get a little bit more complex than this, but this, what I just showed you, how to change a directory and how to show files within the directory, are the basic usage of both commands. So that's all you need to know for this tutorial. But I'm actually going to go over the ls and cd commands in greater detail in the next video, where I'm actually going to talk in greater detail about navigating the Linux file system. So stay tuned for that one. I'll be uploading that shortly. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you when I have that uploaded.